to go live. I hope you guys give me understanding, because I'm dying from hay fever. If you guys know, I suffer in the summer. And it is now 12:54. Like, why am I filming videos at this time? But if I don't, y'all won't have this great content, so I gotta do it. Do you get what I'm saying? I kind of got to do it. But why am I doing this video? So I wanted to share a story. I hate when people draw me out of character, especially as a black dreaded guy in the sport. I like to, let's not make this video long. I'm on positivity this year, so I will address the negative stuff, but I don't want to give it too much time. I did that last year. I gave it way too much time. Myself and Airsoft Cowboy, as we do, we go on our trip. So one day he shouted me, "Boof, what you doing, bro?" I'm like, "Oh, baking at the yard, I need to get out." He's obviously said to me, "Boof, man's going to the store, I need to grab," as we do, we're always working on projects. So I think I'm working on a Glock for him, a Glock project. So he's now trying to take that Glock project out to go and buy mags. So he's always said to me, "Broski, you might as well do roll with me." So I said to him, "Alright, boom, man's gonna roll. We're going Modern Warrior." Now, you guys will see from the video, I've got no ill intent. Even that day, I bought the camera. Nobody's asking me to bring the camera. I've just bought the camera because I'm like, oh, Airsoft Cowboy shout me, good vibes, we filmed for a little bit. I think by that point, we haven't been out for maybe like 2 weeks. So for me, I'm just excited to be out doing airsoft stuff. Do you get it? So there was no ill intent, bro, because I know there's like staff members, there's the guy who owns the store. Do you get it? And like, I'd like whoever, like, bruv, if anyone wants to, like I said, I'm not afraid of no one, we all believe the same. If anyone wants to have conversations with me, I'd like to have, be in a position where they've seen my side and they can understand that though I have strong opinions, I can reason with people. I'm an understanding individual. So that's the context, innit? Airsoft Cowboy shouted me and said, "Buduf, let's go." And I'll even show you why I'm even down to go. So I've got a project I was working on. It never always looked like this. This is basically what I call my, it's my DMR project. But if you look at it, when I always say that to people, they're like, it's got a long barrel, but where's the DMR to it, kind of thing. And I call this my hybrid because essentially it had a longer barrel on it, and I changed it out because I wanted something that I could go CQB with and maneuver corners and, you know what I'm saying, still use the red dot and it's not just there for show, kind of thing. So I was working on this project. This was at its beginning stage. Very, very beginning stage. Let me try to center myself better for the camera. This was at its very beginning stage. So y'all know me. Like, it probably was at the stage at where that gun is on the wall. No gearbox, nothing was in it. So, but I had a shell. I had this idea in my head. I had a shell. Because if you look now, bruv, the thing looks amazing, bro. The thing looks amazing. Anyways, but so this is the gun we're talking about. So he shot me. My intent to go that day was basically just, I ain't been out, wanna go and do some kind of airsofty stuff. Plus, I wanted to seek out a gearbox for this because as an airsofters, there's not really nowhere, like, I tech bare stuff, bro. Unless you've already got the gearbox, or unless you've got a massive budget and brands that you trust, or you drive, or, do you get what I'm saying? There's all these obstacles that stop you finishing a build. And I think with this project, what was happening was there was a lot of people drawing me out around that time saying competition, or let's play for money, or at that time my channel was being watched heavily because I'm currently trying to be sponsored. So if you know anyone or you're interested, shout me. Let's work on something together. But that was the aim. So how can I be at Airsoft and be out here bragging to people and have no gun working? Do you get what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So obviously I've got the DSG build, and I know people who's gonna always say, "Oh, where's the high capper?" But it's like, we grow in it, you grow. Like, I think I'll always have a love for high capper because I spent a great time there. I'll always have love for Glock. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But you want to grow. Like, I really fell back in love with AG recently. I don't know if you saw the DSG build, which is up on the wall. Let's not even get into that. So the long and short of it was, it's just hard to get a full-blown gearbox in a shell. Unless you're going to Norwich, in which case you're going to wait 2 weeks if you're in the UK. And then there's still the custom issue. But anyway, do you understand? There's just all these obstacles. Even patrol base, if you go there, they have options, but it's like, you either have to have a massive budget or settle for something mad basic. And for somebody like me, I can't have a gun that looks like this, bro. And it's got the most basic gearbox in it and nothing's done to it. Come on, man. And I'm a tech. Come on, bro. So you know I'm always gonna do something to it. Even with my DSG build, I had to lower it. And do you know what? Let me just pick it up. I didn't even want to do this. Well, we talk about stuff. I didn't want to make this video long, but here we are. So even this, at points I had to like drop back the build because this thing can do 52 rounds if I wanted it to, but I had to reprogram it to around 35 rounds because I found that was a sweet spot where I was at a competitive level where I'd never complain about the gun, but I was at a stage where nobody out there was like, oh, he's bullying us. Because at one point, like even Airsoft Cowboy at points would come over to me and he's like, lean off them this game, G. Last game, you were fucking on them. And it was because when I've got 52 rounds, every time I flick that water switch, you're definitely getting hit, my boy. even if I don't want to look, and because the build is so light and brother, the thing speaks for itself. Anywhere I take this one, obviously it's on a new body now and things have been done to it. It's kind of a completely different build compared to what people saw last season. Because even got the flashlight on it now as well, kind of thing. Just for them CQB moments where I want to just play with somebody or I'm up against one of my mates, so we're bantering with each other and stuff like that. But the point I was trying to make was, I was never gonna settle for an EMP1 that they do, because that's a good gearbox, 13-to-1 ratio. But they won, I think it's 140 for it, and I know I'm still gonna have to open it, change the trigger. There's still a few things I'd want to do to it. Do you get it? So I wasn't gonna run straight to that. I also saw a few other things like the Delta Armory gearbox, but it was just so basic that I was like, I'm gonna spend so much money in there. There's no point buying that gearbox. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at that point I was looking at the Astar and all these things. So back to the story, and yeah, let me probably put this gun down so I don't get distracted. So I've said to Sean, let's look, Airsoft Cowboy, let's go, boom. So we've headed out. I've gone to the shop. I haven't bought the gun, but I've got the gun in mind. I know the measurements and all of that. I know I need a version 2. And brother, I've teched, man, let the channel speak for itself, bro. So I know what I'm going to look for. So I've gone in, we've looked around, just like we do. You see from the video, there was no bad vibrations, bro. Gone in, bam, bam, bam. Turns out that they don't have options. I've got probably access to maybe 2 actual full shells and maybe like 2 ETUs that's version 2. No, 3 E2s that's version 2. One's mad basic, not even worth looking at. It's like 8 quid. Well, it is depending on your build, but bro. But anyway, it's cool. And it's weird because they've got, like, I'm not biased, bro. They've got bare parts like tapper plates, heads, nozzles, all the, bruv. They got endless, like, see if you're trying to build a matting. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not a bad shop, so went in, boom. But remember, I'm looking for a gearbox shell that I can kind of, it's half there, so I could maybe even drop it in the gun and game it for maybe 3 months. This is the plan, because I've got half the parts. The gun don't look like it looks now, but I'm halfway there. So I'm thinking drop it in the gun, run it for 3 months, kind of fall in love with the platform in this format, because obviously there's a difference, bro. Like, look at the barrel length. There's a difference. The play style was different. There's a red dot. It's different when there's no red dot and I can look over. I don't have to be looking over. I can look down and I can pull the gun round. And bro, like at points, I'll be feeling like I'll be using a pistol. I'll be running it like that. Like I'll be doing some mad stuff out there. And where I've got the polymer version, it's solid enough, but it's light enough that I can throw the gun around corners and I'm back there again. So I was like, oh, what would that be like if I had that in a longer platform? And where this one's slightly lighter, it's, bro, every time I pick it up, I just fall in love with the gun, which is why I went there. But anyways, let's get back to the story, because I know I like to divert. So I've gone in. By this point, I'm gutted, because we look around the store, we've already picked out other stuff we need. You'll see from the footage, bro. But in terms of gearbox shells, I'm trying to, let's say that like, we had a game on Sunday. So this is Friday, we had a game on Sunday, and I'm thinking it would be nice to take this bad boy out. Even though it's not going to be in its final format, just run it, bro. Like, there's people watching, man. The channel's watching. Like I said, there's niggas calling, man. If you win this game, 20 versus 20, or put £50 on the table. So, you know me, I'm all about fun and the sports and that, bro. Like, it's not even about money. It's like, I even just call niggas out for rep. Like, it's nice to, like, it just makes the sport fun if you do it in the right way. So, I'm trying to get this gun out with me for Sunday. I know I could go home and just say, fuck it, buy a gearbox, but it means that I'm not taking this gun out Sunday. Just out of excitement, I'm trying to take this gun out Sunday. So the 2 gearboxes are limited because one of them's a ZCI version 2. I'll drop it on the screen. The other one is a version 2 G&G, but it's like it's basically what you'd find in a combat machine, but it's not the, it's what you'd find in a combat machine. It doesn't have the quick change spring system. So in my head, I'm like, it doesn't make sense buying this G&G gearbox, even though it's a G&G gearbox. I know the problems within it. I don't want to spend bare time talking about it. I know the problems within it. Plus that quick change thing, it's a problem for me. Because you know me, I always be wanting to open it, change the ETU, change the spring change. I always want to be doing these things. I want to fine tune like the DSG build. It took a year and a half to get here, the finalized version. But bro, I don't want to change anything about this. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, when this breaks, I literally just want to replace it. Like, maybe push it slightly up. But even the programming, I love the way this gun works. It's just not too much, but it's not too little. But anyways, so the G&G ain't an option for me. And even the price on the fucking thing's like 90 quid or something. So I'm thinking, bruv, you're gonna charge me, I think it's even more than that, bro. I think it's like £100 or something. I might be wrong, but you guys can check. It's somewhere between that bracket. So that's not even an option for me. So the only thing I'm looking at now is the ZCI thing, because I'm thinking, okay, boom. It's a full gearbox, and the way the shell itself looks, I've said to him, is it right if I can bust the bag? Because it's in like some foam bag thing. Cool. So he said, yeah, boom. So I bust it, I've had a look, and I'm like, the wiring looks alright. You can see, it looks like a brand new shell that's just been sitting there. Version 2, like I said, I'll drop it on the screen so you can see. Even the cylinder, you can see, bro, silver cylinder. It's got a red nozzle. I even pulled this down, and you know what? At some point, I'm gonna pull this down because I'm gonna rebuild this tonight to prove my point. Like, I bought a Delta Armory ETU, but we'll get there. It's because I want you to see it's the same thing, because I know these men will tell lies and be like, oh, he changed it, it's not the same thing. This is why I brought the gun here, because I'm going to show you certain things so people know I'm not lying. Which is a good point. Give me 2 seconds. Let me go grab the battery. So I got a battery to show you there already. Sorry guys, I love to chat when it's to you guys. So, yeah, there's only one option. Boom. This says I think it looks alright, bruv. I'm not gonna lie to you. Silver. Yeah, let me just do it quickly because I can afford to shoot the gun while it's down like that. So it looks alright. So I'm thinking this can't be a bad idea. It looks alright. Silver. What's it called? Cylinder. It's got a. And you know what? Don't be like me. Always. You see what I'm saying? Safety first, bro. Safe first. You want your stuff to last, you gotta look after it. Take your mag out, and that's important because your hop up is attached to that. So if you try and pull that out, there's no way it can move. You're just gonna do damage. Because remember, the mag is holding everything back. But yeah, that's why I'm pulling this down. Okay, good. So let's get back to it. So from my stance, you guys can see what I'm saying. I'm looking at this thing like, it kind of does make sense, innit? Better than the G&G gearbox, because first and foremost, this one has got quick change spring. So I'm thinking, wood off. When I want a CQB, wood off, man can just put the low spring in it. When man want to do DMR, it wood off, man can put... I'm getting excited. I'm even thinking, raw. Like, it's brand new. All I've got to do is drop it in the gun, maybe fine tune the hop and all of that once it's in the gun, make sure the motor's seating, you know, all of that fine tune stuff. But I'm like, what's to do that? Bro, maybe take this out Sunday, so I'm getting excited. Check the wiring, everything looks lig. But this is where I fucked up. I didn't know this at the time. We've been going to this shop for maybe about 2 years. And we've been testing stuff as you do in it. Like, you meet new partners, you buy from this site, you test that person, see what their delivery time's like. We've got options, so I'm not using these lot for gearbox during this time period because I've got options, bro. I think at one point we even had And I'm not a hater or envious, so I talk about these people from a positive stance. Like, tight boxes is not the one, bruv. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to look good for our ladies, but tight boxes, man, it's not the one. These ain't even tight, you know. These ones is just, you feel me? But they're bothering me still. But anyways, yeah, like my point was at that time period we had options. We even had like Gary's shop, Ken Combat Store, etc. So we weren't going to them for gearboxes. But over the 2-year course, and it's one of my members that showed me this. He was like, do you remember the first time we ever went to that store? There was a gearbox on the wall in bubble wrap. And I was like, oh shit. And he was like, that gearbox you bought, it's in bubble wrap, right? But I'm see this as like a Easter egg. We're gonna come back to this because these are only things I clocked further down the line. This is 2 weeks after or a week after talking to my member. He was like, nigga, that thing you're venting about, don't you remember this? Do you know what I'm saying? But cool, save that Easter egg. So remember, I've seen options, but I'm just seeing bare bits fall inside the gearbox. I'm thinking, bruv, in weeks forward or a month, for a couple months down the line, once I've used the thing, bruh, whatever I see, I'm seeing all these options in the shop of added parts, but not. I already explained that, cool. So, and I said, the G&G one ain't gonna work, right? It's not a good fit for the specific project it needs. So this was the only thing that was gonna make sense. And like I said, when I saw the red nozzle, I was like, oh, New Pro used that in the Defender, and they used that in the Pioneer. So I'm getting excited because I'm like, even though those are not the most best guns, those things are like workhorses. They just keep going and going and going and go. Bruv, I've had gearboxes from guns from people 2 years after they used it, and that thing I open and I'm like, you sure you had this thing for 2 years? They're just workhorses, the way they're built. Even they're cheap and they won't shoot mad far, like they're just workhorses. Like New Pro knew what they were doing with that. But anyways, so I'm looking at this, and even look at it, bro. Anyone who is in my stance, you're not trying to spend crazy money. You're happy to build a project over time. You just want to get this thing ready for Sunday. I'm looking at this and I'm like, though it's close to the price of the other one, because this was 85 quid. I'm saying at 85 quid, what am I getting for this? So I've looked at it and it says it's got a MOSFET. So I'm like, oh. That 3 months is not, because one of my big worries on this project when I had the shell was, if I buy a shit gearbox, like I'm definitely gonna have to replace the wiring because it doesn't have an ETU, it just has some wiring that allows the thing to mechanically shoot. Come on, man, if you guys know, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spend better time talking about that. So this is ticked bare boxes for me, you know. I'm like, quick change spring, wood off. This has got a MOSFET, so the 3 to 6 month barrier without me having to even open this thing, take wood off. I'm seeing this silver cylinder, and brother, again, I've teched enough to know that some of the cylinders wood off, so I'm like, wood off. There's this thing called the 4-point corner thing, yeah, which basically allows the gearboxes to never split on you. This has got 2 out of the 4. Again, something I ain't got time to go into right now. So again, I was like, tick, because though it's only got half, I was like, brother, even if this is a shell that I have to buy a new shell 2 years from now, or a year from now, or a year and a half from now, I'd be alright, because I'd have got a year and a half out of this shell. So do you see, all these things I'm taking, the red nozzle, wood off. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the wiring, wood off. So my brain hasn't clocked what my brethren's told me, because remember, he's only told me this afterwards. So cool. I've seen this and I'm like, oh, £85. It's still an L, but I'm going to take it because it kind of makes sense on paper. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking, this is a store we buy shit from. The guy, you know what I'm saying? They're talking to us good that day. They're making us feel like the YouTubers. Whatever, cool. So I'm not picking this up. I'm excited. I get home, so I end up doing that night. Y'all know I know my stuff. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to show you the timeline so y'all can see that there was no foul play here. So the shop closes at 8. Let's say me and Airsoft Cowboy got back latest 9, because I think we went and grabbed food. We sat in the car for a bit, spoke, and then I came back in. I was excited, so this was the first thing I went to go install, because I've just spent 85 quid and there was some other stuff I bought. So I think in total myself, I spent that day maybe about between 110 and 120, somewhere around there. Because I got other little bits, hop up and rare. Airsoft Cowboy spent some money. I can't remember how much he spent. Cool. I've come in straight away. Would have, I want to put this in there because I want to know. I've already got a motor set aside, brand new motor, high torque. Do you know what I'm saying? I've even got a 25k just to be safe, just in case it doesn't like the high torque. I've got options for it, different springs. I've chucked it in. I've ran it on semi. It's working. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hook together the upper, check the barrel setup. Oh, I don't want to pull it down to show you, but yeah, the barrel setup. Getting excited now. One man says to me, chill out, put your tech head on, flip the gun into auto. So at this stage right here, and you know what? This is probably a great time to show you guys what I'm talking about. So, and don't worry about all of this. Like I do this thing where I wrap my gun wires. You'll see it even here. I wrap everything with electric tape. There's no damage underneath. I'm just doing it because often those are areas that need to bend, like you're seeing right here. What I'm trying to do is stop my wiring from bending because it's metal on the inside, right? So if it keeps doing this and there's nothing allowing the flex, you're just gonna basically bend the wire until the connection doesn't exist or is no longer connected. Whereas with this, I found that I've done this to like a lot of my client guns and even my personal stuff, and something that I'd normally have to replace like maybe every season is now lasting 2, 3, 4 seasons. It's just me being a perfectionist wanting to change it just because it looks a bit ruffled and taffled, not because it's broken. So that's what this is about, just to be clear. Cause I know people are going to be like, oh, you see? And I'll even show you, because at some point I'm going to take down the gun. But if you look just behind it, you'll see the black wire covering that was on it before. All I've done is just heat covered it again, just to make sure that my thing is more protected. Cool. So I flipped the gun into auto, and it's shot, but it's burst fired, and then it's like stopped. But I haven't taken my hand off the trigger. So by this point, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's just the battery, innit? But I'm thinking this has a MOSFET. It hasn't warned me. So this is where, in my brain, I now start panicking. I'm like, when I plugged up a battery, why didn't I hear the MOSFET go beep, beep? Or why didn't I see a light from underneath the trigger? Or there's lots of different ways that MOSFETs work or talk to you or communicate. They're through beeps or lights, or I can't see anything. So I'm like, the packaging must be wrong. So by this point, I hop on Google because I'm like, the thing shoots semi, but let's pause for a sec. So I hop on Google and start searching. It turns out there's about 3 versions of this gearbox, and then what some people do is they buy it and then they might change out the ETU and then resell it as the retailer. So you might not realize that the person going to buy it as a customer, but that retailer's changed out the spring, or the patrol base do this a lot to meet the legal requirements. But anyways, so it looks like what somebody's done with this version, because the weird thing with this one is I was able to find this version. Obviously the trigger looked different because I changed the trigger. It normally has a black flat trigger in it. When I looked at, I was able to find the gearbox that looks exactly the same. The opening, the same color spring, the same cylinder, same nozzle, same wiring, bam, bam, bam. The problem is everyone was telling me that it has a MOSFET. I can't see no MOSFET. I've even opened the gearbox, and even the way the board looks, you can see it kind of looks like a MOSFET. So I'm like, why am I not hearing no noise, or why? So I've gone online. Oh, how does programming work? Oh, flick it to semi, flick it to auto. None of this is working. So I'm like, it can't be a MOSFET then. This has to be a basic wiring, which I'm okay with. Would be annoying at £85, but I'm okay with, because the gear sounded good. You could just hear the gearbox kind of wants to work course. It had no marking like Spectre Arms or Novrich, or, do you know what I'm saying, on it? But you could hear it wanted to work course. So I was like, I'll take the L, but just because this is an open project for me, right? It's something I'm currently willing to work on. Cool. Change the EG, change the spring, you know, I don't want to bore you. So by this point, I'm like, okay, I found the gearbox show, so I know which one it is. I know what they're saying about it. Let me go back to this auto thing. Flip the gun into semi, chuck the battery in, or chuck the battery in, flip the gun to semi. Semi. I've even chucked the mag in, bam, 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 because by this point it's now going upper on it. Flick the gun into auto, burst fire, and then it switched off again. My finger's still down on the trigger. So I'm like, bro, this thing just keeps on doing this. So I'm like, there must be a problem with the wiring. By this point, I'm stopped calling it MOSFET, because I'm like, there's nothing that shows me it's a MOSFET. There's no box with a chip pulled. You know what I'm saying? You know what a MOSFET looks like, or sometimes it will look like an ETU board, or, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not seeing nothing like that. Even when I've opened the gearbox at one point to just have a look, just have a brief look, like, what's going on in here? just looks like standard wiring. But at the same time, it's not the metal connect one. Like, it's weird. So this is why I'm like, it must be a MOSFET, but it seems like the thing's not working. So I've probably, by this point, I've spent like maybe an hour or so. I'm getting frustrated, but I'm like, the thing's doing semi. All I need to use is semi because I'm calling it my DMR. So I've chucked it in the bag, ran some tests, FPS tested it, made sure it would be site legal, all this good stuff, prepped it for the following day. Taking it to the site. I've ran my DSG build the first game because it was like we were running behind and certain things. So I was like, you know what? Rather than make the day, I'm gonna have to edit 2 videos tomorrow, you know. Rather than make the day more stress, run the DSG build. So I've run like 2 games of the DSG build and I'm like, oh, there's no way I bought this gun. Managed to do the gearbox and I'm not gonna use it. Do you get it? Because it's wise to play with stuff so you can understand what's wrong with it. Or when you plan to upgrade, why you're upgrading. Oh, my motor grip's getting hot, or I'm not getting the range I want, or it's eating my battery life too much. Because that's why sometimes I don't use the expensive E2s because they require so much energy. Like even the double eagle, I love that what they've done with that Falcon system, but it's just battery hungry, bro. Unless you roll with 2 hefty batteries, like you're gonna die on that field. Because the gun just will randomly, I've had that happen to me a few times with the double E guns. But they're good, they're great guns, I will say that. I think it's just the E2s are, they're therefore battery hungry. So I've taken it out first game. I've run maybe like half a game. The gun's running saucy. So I said, okay, let me up the notch, let me try to push this a bit. And when I say push this, I'm more pushing myself. Let me run into an area, bam, bam. As opposed to walk over, bam, bam. Because I'm still trying to learn about the gun. I don't want to push it too fast, a new gearbox, just put a new trigger in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, no, the trigger weren't in it by this point. Because remember, I haven't changed anything. I don't even open the gearbox by this point. Just dropped it straight in, wood off. We get like halfway through the game. And the gun starts making, like the gun's grip. It's so funny because it's not the whole gun, it's just down here. Woo! Woo! So I panic, take cover, drop out my mag. Remember that the upper receiver's still on the gun, so I'm now looking at the gun. I'm looking like the motor grip's not open. The battery seems to be still connected. That's why the noise can happen, or else it wouldn't happen. So I flipped it on semi, and sometimes you like, there's just so many things I've learned in this journey. Sometimes if you get on auto with rental guns, it will correct. Like you have this auto issue or this gearbox lockup issue, you can correct it yourself manually from outside. So I'm thinking it's this, you know, flipped the gun onto auto. It's now worse. This is just the motor spinning out. By this point, I don't know what's happening is the gear that the motor first connects onto, I can never remember what it's called. I think it's the sector gear, I think they call it. This has been worn out. But this doesn't make no sense to me because you see, before I've even put this in the gun, I've made sure the measurement's correct. So I'm like, how would this sector gear be worn? All I did was put this in, maybe take 30 shots that night, try and work out why auto's not working, which was maybe another 30 shots because obviously burst fire. And then clocked that semi's working fine, chrono tested it, which again you did like 5-6 shots, and then chucked in a bag ready for today. And then at chrono maybe 4 or 5 shots, wood off, something like that. What? So by this point I'm starting to get stressed. I'm like, bruv, I put 85 quid in this gearbox. I fall in love with this gun. I think the shell on it looks so fucking amazing. What the fuck's going on? So I'm like, don't stress. You've got a shell. You said that this was going to be a project and things was going to happen and you was going to go through the journey. You're going to go through the journey. So I just parked it up in the bag, boom, gone back to my DSG build. Ran that the whole day. It ran alright the whole day. By the time I've got home, I'm now excited to open this. So just like the day after the shop, rushed in, sorted myself out, hopped on this, opened it. At that point, before I opened it, I was like, do you just take this back to the shop? Because remember, this is a drop-in shell. It's not like it was a build it yourself project. Like you literally just drop this project in and it's meant to shoot. How is this thing not even doing a full game and breaking? But by this point, I was emotionally connected into the project. So I've opened the gearbox merely for the fact of seeing what's going on in there.
Shirt, made it diamond, we come from the dirt. Can't get lost in the source, my kid's legacy, got that all on the back. God be the greatest, they cannot debate it, and deep down they know it's a fact. Ay. Tell her slow down, girl, make it wiggle and clap. Arch up the back, make it jiggle and that. Don't be mad, cause I'm gone for the evening. Flip them packs and I bring it right back. Flip them packs from early, don't doubt me, cause you know that I'm active. Slid round there and I caught him quick, now he's pissed cause his boy should have backed it. Tell her slow down, girl, make it wiggle and clap. Arch up the back, make it jiggle and that. Don't be mad cause I'm gone for the evening. Flip them packs and I bring it right back. Flip them packs from early, don't doubt me cause you know that I'm active. Slid round there and I caught him quick, now he's pissed cause his boy should have backed it.
10740.